This shit more than a game.
Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a happy day here in the This Shit More Than a Game Kingdom. After a long month, it feels good to be back. And I'm not the only one who's back. There was a very familiar face that came back to the Who Dat Nation like he never left. And we got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the John O'Barnes Show. But it's shit more than a game.
From the stands, I'm invested. Every loss served like a lesson, we tested. Front porch talk turn to Sunday confessions. From dome to the block, it's all one connection. From Eric to Drew, Alvin to Cam, talk down on my squad. Boy, I be damned. I rap for the ones that never got fame, still yelling loud. This shit more than a game. Cause y'all know why? This shit more than a game. It ain't no lie. This shit more than a game. You know that's right. This shit more than a game. And y'all know why? This shit more than a game. Now I got Lil Jon sitting on my knee, teaching them young what it mean to believe. This bigger than scores, it's what we became. He gon' know off top, this shit more than a game. Clarissa in the back giving me all types of stress, but deep down she know the husband the best. She knows he's crazy, she know he's mean, but she know the kid 100% New Orleans. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. It ain't no lie, this shit more than a game. You know that's right, this shit more than a game. And y'all know why, this shit more than a game. Yeah. When you see Jono scream, this shit more than a game. And when you see a Falcons fan, just call out for Jonathan. And yeah, this shit more than a game. New Orleans know this shit more than a game. Louisiana know this shit more than a game. Texas know this shit more than a game. Whole world know this shit more than a game. Y'all know why?
This shit more than a game. Man, oh man, does it feel good to be back. A long month. A good month. I enjoyed myself. I went on a nice vacation to Puerto Rico. And then, you know, guys, it's kind of like the dog days of the off season, the doggiest days of the off season, I would say. It felt good though, because even though times are very slow right now when it comes to the sports world, well, mainly if you're an NFL and NBA fan, shout out to all the baseball fans out there. But I always kind of used to dread these days, and now I cherish them because I'm like, you know what? Let me enjoy the month of July and the first week, at least, of August, while I still have my sanity, I still have no stress, and I still just have peace and tranquility before that team of ours pisses us off, gives us heart-inducing attacks, and makes us realize, for better or for worse, why this shit more than a game. So I enjoyed this past month of reclaiming my peace. And I hope while I was gone, you guys were able to reclaim your peace as well. Now, we are not that far away from football, but we still have a few days to go. So if you did not use this past month to reclaim your peace, please take a word from John O'Barnes. This shit more than a game law 1758. Always protect your peace when peace is within. My dad taught me that. Marinate on that for a little bit. Because we have about 15 more days till football returns. And let me tell y'all something. Usually around this time is when I start to kind of feel it a little bit. You know, like, man, that weather's definitely getting hotter for sure. And the hurricanes, unfortunately, and these tropical storms are definitely becoming more threats as this time comes along in the calendar year. But also, it feels like that grass just has a little bit more smell to it. I don't know, the air just feels a little bit more, well, human and dick, yes, but also just a little bit more delightful because we can all feel it in our mind, bodies, and souls. And football season is literally right around the corner. And I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to be back here on the John Bones Show with all of you guys. And I appreciate you guys. I'm looking at the chat right now and I see all the familiar faces. And you know, some people could leave for a month and then people would kind of drift off and say, all right, man, Jonathan's going live tonight. Well, he's already been off the past few months. What more does me missing another week or two of watching his show going to do when the football season doesn't start for another 2 weeks? But you guys are loyal, man, because here you guys are in the chat right now. I see y'all. I'm looking at y'all. I'm going to get to y'all in a little bit. Here, even though I've been going for 1 month, I appreciate that very much. I also would appreciate if y'all do me a favor because I'm seeing some comments in the chat and I appreciate these comments, but I'm not seeing a this shit more than a game in the chat. Now, I know I might be a little rusty tonight, but I don't think you guys are rusty. So let's start the John Bones Show the same way we always start the goddamn John Bones Show. We're going to make the vibes good. We're going to make the vibes positive. We're going to make the vibes energetic and leave a this shit more than a game in the chat right now because you're damn right, Mikey. You're damn right. Know the Chop Podcast, Jerry G, St. John, my God, my girl ASAP Thickness, and of course the king of the super chats, Bruce Saint. You're damn right. This shit more than a game. And we are already starting off on a hot streak. Y'all just saw Sandra's name was on the this shit more than a scoreboard. I guess my guy Bruce Saint wants to be on the scoreboard next week because we are back, by the way, y'all. Ain't no more vacations. We are back. And because Bruce Saint leaves a $10 super chat, he will be on this shit more than a scoreboard next week. And he just simply says, this shit more than a game. If you guys want to make sure you make the scoreboard the following week of the John Bones Show, leave a $10 or higher super chat. My guy, official swagger, 4K, not 3K, not 2K, not 1K, not HD, not LED, not 4 LETD, but 4K. He says, peace of mind, and he needs a $5 super chat. You guys are awesome, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Truly, this is why I do it, man. I don't have the biggest audience. I know I've been saying that for like 3 years now, but I don't have the biggest audience. But what I do have is a loyal audience and an audience who, for whatever reason, y'all tune in because y'all want to hear little old me. And I appreciate that very much. And as long as I have the passion for this, as long as I have the hobby still in this, like this is a hobby. This is fun for me. This is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. I will always do this for you guys, and you guys make it all absolutely worth it. We even have my mom in the chat. Give it up for the this shit more than a mother, the lovely Gina Bones. And she says this shit more than a game. I appreciate that, you guys. St. John says, yeah, ESPN can't fire John Bones. I don't know if y'all been following the news the past 2 days. Man, ESPN has made a lot of layoffs. I will just say, even though some people are getting their memes and jokes and takes off on social media, me included, I do want to say a prayer and my thoughts to everybody who got laid off by ESPN today, because Lord knows I've been in a situation before where I've been laid off. And I think if you live to be old enough, everybody has experienced that in their lifetime. If you haven't, you're very blessed. Give God a thanks and a wink and a nod tonight when you say your prayers. But we all know how stressful and how anxiety ridden and how, you know, it's not fun to get laid off. So even if some of the names that got laid off you aren't necessarily fans of, I know Ryan Clark is a very polarizing figure on social media. You know, the man still lost his job, his livelihood. Now, a lot of these guys are fortunate and were smart enough to have backup plans and other avenues of their brand where losing the ESPN salary hurts, but they don't lose necessarily their income and whatnot because they have other brands that they were able to curate while they were at ESPN. But, I mean, losing that ESPN salary and losing that ESPN machine is a big, big loss for some of these personalities that were laid off by ESPN today and yesterday. So my thoughts and prayers for sure with them. Maybe we'll talk about that later in the show because the sports media world, we've had a lot of discourse on social media, locally and nationally, about just the sports media world and where is it going and just the future of it. And I see my guy St. John, and he's not like a traditional, I guess, sports media, but he is kind of in the sports media content world like me. And he has a great Saints Super Bowl book coming up that I cannot wait to read when it finally becomes on bookstore. So he's kind of, you know, probably following the tea leaves too, and just kind of noticing how the sports world and the media world is just so much different, you know, in 2026 than it was in 2016 and 2006. You know, it's just a different world. Hell, I'm one of those soldiers in how different it is, you know, Whereas it used to be players and stuff and brands and businesses went to traditional media to get their stuff out. Now you got players like Eric McCoy coming on my show. I'm a fan. I'm not traditional media. He didn't come to, a news studio. He came to a house in New Orleans East to talk Saints football, and to, let his story be told. And it's just shows the unique way of how sports media is going in 2026 and how content is probably more keen than actual sports journalism skills and all that good stuff. I'm rambling. I probably should say this for like the last segment of the show. I know you guys want to talk Saints football first, but I mean, it interests me because I'm kind of, I'm not fully into the sports world. This is not my 9 to 5, the media world. I mean, but I have dipped my toes in the media world, obviously, a bit since I started doing content. And if you guys have been following me on social media, even throughout my break, you would see that I have been doing traditional media appearances even while I was not doing the show. I was on with Mike Detillier on WWL Radio. We'll play a clip of that later on. I was with, of course, Saints legend Lance Moore, my guy Dylan, and my guy Darian on the Locked On Saints show, filling in for Ross Jackson. I'm sure Ross Jackson's fans are always super excited when I'm on. He's not. So hopefully you guys follow me on social media, because even if there might be times where I'm not doing this show particularly, you can still see me doing shorts on YouTube and skits on my social media pages. Of course, you get my takes on Twitter every single day. And you still might see me doing like media appearances and talking Saints on different media platforms, which I am blessed and honored and humbled to be a part of. And it's because of you guys in the chat always showing love and making me have an audience that people can't help but notice. So again, maybe we'll talk later on more about that in the sports world and ESPN's layoffs and how much is changing. But it's definitely something. I mean, it's definitely not the sports media world that I grew up on, where, I mean, the only way you used to be able to watch highlights is you had to catch ESPN. You used to pray that the Saints were good enough or relevant enough or in a big enough game that our segments lasted more than 1 minute and not just 30 seconds of highlights. Now you get it at the tip. You put it on your phone within 2 seconds and you'll have to highlight the touchdown that you just saw a minute ago. So definitely a different sports world out there. And again, content is king. And before we get to one last thing, I was going to say, I usually say it's towards the end of the show, but as the season is getting closer, I want to remind everybody that I am a part of Boot Crew Media now. So if you have not subscribed to them on YouTube, for all you YouTubers out there, please make sure y'all subscribe to YouTube to see some exclusive content that I am not posting on just my channel, but on the Boot Crew channel exclusively. And again, I will now be doing a show every Sunday night when the football season starts, after Sunday Night Football, on Boot Crew Media's YouTube channel. And it would mean the world to me as we try to blend in my brand with their brand and try to build an audience on that platform. If you guys were carry over, if you guys are late night owls, I know some of y'all might be asleep at 10:30 p.m. Central Time on Sunday nights, but if you guys are up and you still amped about the Saints game, win or lose, remember, I will be doing a Sunday night show on Boot Crew Media this upcoming season. And I'm still planning to do the John Bone show on Tuesdays. Now, it might be a little different. It might be some weeks where I'm just exhausted. I don't have the capacity. And I'm like, I just used all my energy bar on a Sunday night show. I might have to skip this week or maybe do a show on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. We're kind of playing it by ear, but I am for sure, because I'm getting paid now to do it on Boot Crew Media. We'll be doing a Sunday night show, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be like our instant reaction to the game of the Saints week. Usually maybe just 12 o'clock games. We ain't got that many 3 o'clock or 7 p.m. games this season, but we're going to try to implement a call-in feature, where people can call in live and vent. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun on that show. And you guys are going to get exclusive content throughout that whole week on Boot Crew Media of just my reaction to Saints news throughout the week and all that. Like, the fun is really about to start. I'm starting to gear up myself. I'm starting to game plan. I'm starting to put a vision board, I guess, together of what my content is going to look like. And it will be a lot that will be done on Boot Crew Media. So make sure y'all subscribe and follow Boot Crew Media on all platforms. But of course, do not worry. The John Barnes channel is not going anywhere. The John Barnes show is not going anywhere. We're just going to really expand and try to grow and do a little things differently. That's what life is about. You got to grow. You got to take new challenges and do new things. And that's what we'll be doing here on the John Barnes show, the John Barnes channel, and the This Shit More Than a Game community. One thing we are going to be doing throughout this season for sure is still being able to talk about Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, because those two are back. And I believe, y'all, we have one last run with those two Saints Hall of Famers. Just while I was gone, my last show that I did before I went to Puerto Rico, Cam Jordan resigned. He didn't resign. He felt like he resigned at one point, but he did not. He resigned with the New Orleans Saints. And my first show back since vacation, Alvin Kamara restructured his contract, and he is going to be a Saint in 2026. Word from Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport, NFL Network / ESPN. The Saints and running back Alvin Kamara agreed to terms on a deal that will pay him a base salary now of $6 million, not the $10 million that the Saints were in no business to want to pay in 2026, with a chance to now make $8.5 million in incentives. It is a win-win. I don't know if it's a win technically for Alvin Kamara. I'm sure he would have rather the $10 million than the $6 million, but he is also probably very happy to stay in New Orleans. And as Rap Sheet says, this almost certainly means Kamara will finish his career in New Orleans. Now, y'all know I'm a very transparent person. Y'all know I'm a very fair person. When I come on the show and I'm wrong about something, y'all know. I will hope that y'all know. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Let me put these comments up live. Y'all know when I come on the show, I admit when I'm wrong. Like, I'm not afraid to be wrong. I am a fan. I know I'm doing a lot of media, traditional media now, but I don't advertise myself as an analyst or a traditional media person. I advertise myself as a fan because that's what I am. I'm just like you guys. I just happen to put a microphone in my face, and I'm blessed that you guys watch me. But I'll come on this show, on my brands, on my social media pages and whatever, and say, I was wrong about this. I was wrong about that. I've been saying all season how I've been wrong about Tyler Shook, so far at least. What I was right about, though, and I will come on and say when I was right about Kamara. I was right about Cam Jordan. I was right about Demario Davis. And hell, I was right about Taysom Hill. Because if y'all remember, if you're true to the John O'Bone Show, not new to the John O'Bone Show, y'all remember when we were giving out predictions for the offseason, and those were the big four, right? Like, what are the Saints going to do with their four trusted veterans? I said my prediction was that Demario was going to leave. Well, Demario did leave. He went to the New York Jets. I said that I think Taysom is either going to retire or go with Sean Payne. Technically, that's an unknown right now because he still hasn't come out and say what his plans are, but it is July 21st and Taysom Hill is still not signed. I am pretty positive that he's probably not going to re-sign with the Saints if he actually does still play football, but it seems like right now Taysom Hill is in the retirement, or I'm going to go get a call from Sean Payne in November, December and try to help the Broncos with a playoff push in 2026. So I'm going to count that as a win for me, even though it isn't technically official yet. And then what did I say? I said I believed that the Saints were going to keep Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara, and I kept saying, I believe in 2026, the Saints are a better team with Alvin Kamara and with Cam Jordan than without. So I was ecstatic that Cam Jordan resigned, and I am ecstatic that Alvin Kamara restructured his contract, and those two are going to be Saints in 2026. And what I said on this John O'Bone Show last month before I went on vacation is the same thing I'm going to say about Alvin Kamara on the John O'Bone Show now that I'm back from vacation. Cherish this season with them guys because it feels almost certain. And Cam basically announced that this is his last season. Now he kind of pivoted after that video announcement and said, I also see how I feel at the end of the season. But I mean, in his I'm coming back video, he put one last ride. Alvin hasn't necessarily said anything. He's always been very discreet about his plans and whatnot. But the day that he did restructure his contract with the New Orleans Saints, he posted a story. I wish I should have took a screenshot. I don't have it up on my production side, but he put the story up on Instagram, and it was simply a screenshot of Michael Jackson. But it wasn't just any screenshot of Michael Jackson. It was Michael Jackson during the This Is It rehearsals. And, I know Alvin has came on platforms before and said that don't read too much into his social media, but I also think Alvin has made it a habit of posting kind of like discreet messages on social media a lot. And so I took that screenshot, which was very timely. I mean, he literally posted it right after the news broke that he was coming back with the New Orleans Saints, of Michael Jackson, This Is It, that Alvin Kamara is kind of hinting to fans that this is it. So in my mind, this is definitely going to be the last season that we see Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan, not only in sanctioned forms, but probably in the NFL. I think Alvin Kamara is going to be very content after the season to retire from the NFL, hopefully with his health intact. So make sure, man, my takeaway from this is, yes, I think the Saints are a better team, and hopefully it helps us having those two in our push to win the NFC South this year. But cherish every Alvin Kamara carry, cherish every Cam Jordan sack or tackle or pressure or run stop, cherish every Alvin Kamara catch, because this is probably, very likely, their last seasons in the NFL, and definitely their last seasons as New Orleans Saints. So I'm going to cherish it. I'm going to appreciate it. And I hope I hope that the team can send these guys out with a bang. Right now, obviously, storybook, and then we somehow find our way in the goddamn Super Bowl and we win it. That would be amazing. That would be incredible. That would help my content a lot. That's for damn sure. But even if we just make a push and win the NFC South and make the playoffs, I think that would be a great way for Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan to go out. So cherish it, y'all. I'm going to probably keep stressing it all offseason, but cherish Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan being back. Even if you are of the opinion that we didn't need them back, even if you might be of the opinion that, they're washed, as the cool kids would say, they're washed. They're not in their prime anymore. Well, no, they are not in their prime anymore, but I do think that they're still valid contributors and will be very valuable to the New Orleans Saints, not just from an on-field standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint, because we are still technically in a rebuild and we have a lot of young players on the team. And it is nice to have some trusted veteran leadership like Kamara and like Cam Jordan to lead these guys. And as we kind of are at that crossroads where we're going to the future, but we still have a little bit of a pit stop into the now with people like Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara. So cherish that those guys are back, y'all, and make sure y'all cherish that they are going to be Saints in 2026, because this is probably going to be our last time we can wear our Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara jerseys while they are actively members of the New Orleans Saints. Now, what will Alvin Kamara's role look like in 2026? That remains to be seen, because we all know that Travis Etienne is the lead back this year. I have big expectations personally for what Travis Etienne is going to do in this offense in 2026. But I don't know if Alvin Kamara thinks that just because Etienne is going to be the lead workhorse back this year, that he's just going to be discarded to the side and only being played when the game is out of reach or something like that. Because as the wonderful Cat Terrell tweeted, Teron Armstead said on his show when he and Nick Underhill broke the news about Kamara return to the Saints, that Alvin Kamara is quote unquote pissed off and hungry at the way the last few years went. Well, I got some news for you, Alvin Kamara. Us Saints fans are just as pissed off and as hungry, and I hope that this means nothing more than that we are going to eat well in 2026 when it comes to division championships, hopefully playoff championships, and hopefully ultimately maybe a championship. But I'm just as pissed off and as hungry as you are, AK, and I promise you, everybody in the chat, if you guys are as pissed off and as hungry as Alvin Kamara, just simply type in the chat, I'm pissed off and hungry too. Let me know how many people are pissed off and hungry like Alvin Kamara is, because I damn sure am. We have not made the playoffs in 4-5 calendar years since Drew Brees has retired. I am pissed off. I'm hungry. I want to win a goddamn NFC South title. I want to goddamn do a playoff preview show here on the John O'Bourne Show. I want to do playoff content, goddamn it, about my team. I'm making jokes about other teams. I want to do playoff content about my team. Just like Alvin Kamara, just like ASAP Thickness, just like Hurricane Mikey, just like Sim South 504. We are all pissed off and hungry. And I'm hoping that leads to great success for the New Orleans Saints in 2026. And I hope that it leads to great success for Alvin Kamara. I'm of the opinion that I still think that I'm not necessarily expecting a 1-2 punch the way we're used to from our running backs duo, like we got with Deuce and Reggie, like we got with Ingram and Kamara. I don't know if I'm necessarily expecting that out of Etienne and Kamara. I just think that Kamara may not be as much a focal point for Kellen Moore as, Deuce and Reggie were for Sean and Mark and Elvin were for Sean. But I am hopeful that Elvin, his talent is still undeniable, that even if Kellen Moore is like, well, I wasn't expecting Elvin to play such a big role in 2026, I can't keep him off the field too much because this guy still clearly has some pep in his step. And I believe he does. So I'm hoping that Alvin Kamara, again, I'm not expecting like a 1,000-yard total yard season from Alvin Kamara, but I am hopeful that he can be a threat in a passing game for sure, but even in the running game, and that him and Etienne can make a 1-2 punch that, leads us to multiple wins in a NFC South this year. I'm not expecting it. I can kind of see Kamara gradually getting phased out as the season goes along, the way Sean Payton gradually phased out one of my former favorite Saints players, Joe Hahn, in 2006. But if Alvin is as pissed off and as hungry as we are, then hey, there might be a world where Etienne and Kamara are doing the damn thing together in 2026, and the New Orleans Saints are whooping ass and taking names in the NFC South and then the NFC period. So I'm excited though that at least even is a possibility. I'm excited that Alvin Kamara is going to be wearing black and gold this season. I'm excited when I go to Paris which thank God, y'all, hallelujah. My wife's credit card went through. We were able to get tickets last week. We are going to be, let me give y'all an announcement right now. We are going to be on the front row for Paris. So y'all got to make sure y'all are following John Barnes that week on social media and, of course, on this show and this channel, because we are going to have some great content and some just amazing views for you guys when the Saints play the Steelers in Paris. We are going to literally be first row. At first, I was a little annoyed that the tickets for the Paris game went on sale last week at 5:30 a.m. because obviously they're working with the Paris time zone, not the New Orleans time zone. So, I was like, oh man, well, that means I got to wake up at 5:30 a.m. since the tickets are going on sale at like 12 p.m. in Paris time. But it actually worked out beautifully because while my wife was sound asleep, I was able to take her credit card and purchase the front row tickets to go see the Saints and the Steelers. Now, y'all might think that she was mad, but I don't think she was too mad when she got the email about us getting front row tickets. Now, she didn't talk to me that morning. I think she was kind of in a rush. That's why she slammed the door in my face. But I think it was more that she was in a rush to get to work than she was actually mad at me. But once she kind of realizes the beauty of that, she's going to understand how it is going to be the best de facto honeymoon of all time. So I'm really excited. We're going to have a great time. And while I'm in row one with my wife, and if y'all see me in Paris, if you happen to be going to Paris too, please feel free to come stop by and say what's up. Ignore my wife's very angry face if you see her. That means she's probably just in game mode, okay? So don't worry about my wife. Come say hi. And we all can watch Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan and the New Orleans Saints together from the front row of the sideline. It's going to be a great day. I am so glad that Alvin Kamara is back with the New Orleans Saints. Let me get to some of y'all comments. How do y'all feel about Alvin Kamara being back with the New Orleans Saints? If you haven't responded yet, let me know right now in the comments how you feel. But while I continue to read the comments as I was rambling, we got a great comment from Sandra, who is on this shit more than the scoreboard right now. And she says, Unc. Look, Sandra got a brand new photo. She got is that the Jonathan Vilma jersey? Sandra, what the hell? I mean, I know you got a This Shit More Than the Game. Look, I like it. You look good on it, but you also will look great with a This Shit More Than the Game shirt as your profile pic too. But Sandra leaves a $5 super chat, I believe it is, just a gift. And she 440 gems. I gotta understand what that means in YouTube language. I like gems, so don't get me wrong. I just don't know what 440 gems. The way she says Unc alert. Oh, wait, who's the Unc? Is it Kamara or is it me? I have a rule about I know these young kids call all the old heads Unc. That's fine. And technically, I am an uncle to a lovely niece and an amazing nephew. But I feel like for the kids and all you guys might want to call me Unc, as a slang term or whatever. As you see your name right there, Sandra. Y'all want to make sure your name is on This Shit More Than a Scoreboard. Leave a $10 or higher super chat. You got to be at least over 40 years old. And I'm not quite at 40 yet. I'm getting close. All right, you see, she said she don't know what it was, but she still called, you got the Unc alert. I don't know if you're calling me Unc, Sandra. Wait till I'm 40. I call all these kids on Twitter. The kids be at me. What up, Unc? John, are you doing the damn thing, man? You my favorite Unc. And I'm like, what? 40 years old, kids. Jeez. I ain't Unc status yet. But I do appreciate that at least I'm old enough. God has blessed me with so many years of my life that I can be considered an Unc. So St. John asks, has Clarissa not learned to lock that credit card up yet? You got to find ways, St. John. Like, she's taking methods to try to hide or lock the credit card. But, when you're married to somebody, there's only so many things you can hide before the truth comes to light. They used to always tell me that, so marinate on that, y'all. The truth will always come to light, especially when you live together. And again, because the tickets went on sale at 5:30 a.m., while she was sound asleep, I nicely woke up, took her credit card, and bought tickets to the Saints and Steelers game on row one. I'm very excited to give y'all that content later this season. All right. My girl Dana says they playing for fun. The New Orleans Saints are playing to eat this season. I'm hungry. I'm pissed off just like Alvin Kamara. So I see ASAP also says that credit card is smoking. Them tickets and them seats are gonna be smoking hot. I know that for sure. Row one, baby. We doing the damn thing. It's shit more than a trip to Paris. Know the Child podcast says he is not only pissed off and hungry, but he is pissed off and starving. I think we all are, man. I think we all are starving for some success. Slim South says Alvin never wanted to leave. Alvin even said last year, don't trade me, Saints, because if y'all trade me, I'm going to just go somewhere and sip on pina coladas all day. And as a man who had a lot of pina coladas himself in Puerto Rico last month, let me tell you something. That's not a bad lifestyle to live. So that shows you how much Alvin Kamara wants to be a Saint, though, is that he says, hey, I would rather retire than go play for any other team. And I can appreciate that. And I think I tweeted that when Alvin resigned with us or restructured his contract with us. I say, look, man, no matter how you feel, like there are some fans who felt like we did not need to resign. I keep saying resign as if, I'm probably thinking about them damn layoffs at ESPN. There are some fans who didn't think that we needed to keep Kamara and Alvin in 2026. But I would say, and you the right to feel that way. Everybody has a different approach to how they want to build a team or how they feel the team is best path to succeed going forward. But just appreciate that we have these two players, one who is a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, one who could have been a Hall of Famer, just things didn't work out, but just high-level players who are saying, I want to be in New Orleans. To me, that is special. We got two Hall of Fame level players who says, I want to only be a New Orleans Saint. That's the type of stuff that even if you are looking at things from a business point of view, you should at least be able to appreciate that. Wow, how awesome is it that, even throughout these past few years where the Saints have been a very struggling franchise, we got guys who still would rather only be in New Orleans than anywhere else. Cam and Alvin could have easily requested trades. They could have said, send me to Kansas City, send me with Sean Payton to Denver so I can try to have a more realistic shot at a Super Bowl ring before I call it a career. Those guys said, I want to be in New Orleans. I appreciate the hell out of that. And I hope that you guys too, because that is what this shit more than the game is all about. ASAP says, cough, cough, Jeff Duncan. All right, so while I was gone, y'all, if y'all don't get the reference, Jeff Duncan put out an article where he said that, in his opinion, the Saints, it was time to move on from Alvin Kamara and either cut or trade him. I was actually not mad at that opinion from Jeff Duncan. He's had very polarizing takes in his time as a Saints columnist. And I'm actually, unlike a lot of people on social media, I'm a fan of Jeff Duncan. I bought 2 books from Jeff Duncan. I have met him technically when I'm the ball boy for the Pelican. I never actually put him on the side and had a conversation with him. I mean, he doesn't follow me. I still follow him, but I'm not as I've done this content thing, I've gotten cool with people like Rod Walker, with my girl Catherine Terrell, with a lot of the other media people that you guys have seen me interact with, Mike Detillier and all that. I never gotten close with Jeff Duncan. Hell, I don't even think Jeff ever even corresponded with me, maybe once or twice. I don't know if he's not a fan of my content. I'm sure he knows who I am. I mean, I'm a pretty big deal, and I hate to sound cocky, but I am on social media. But maybe what I do is just not for him. Either way, that's fine. I don't go as hard on Jeff Duncan as a lot of fans do on social media. So all that to say, when he put out that article about it's time for the Saints and Alvin Kamara to part ways, I actually was not mad at his opinion that he thought it was time. Here's what I did get annoyed by ASAP, and I'm sure a lot of you guys who may have saw that article. The team kind of uses Jeff whenever they want something out about a player. It seems like whoever Jeff's source is, I would imagine it's one of the higher ups on Airline Drive. They always go to Jeff to kind of put it out there. We saw it with Mike Thomas, which is why Mike Thomas had that whole back and forth with Jeff Duncan a few years ago, where Mike Thomas infamously called Jeff Duncan a hoe. Just calling what Mike Thomas called Jeff Duncan. But it's like every time there's a player who's kind of like on a fringe of possibly not being a Saint in the future, Jeff Duncan always has timely articles, right, about what that player might be doing wrong behind the scenes. And in this article that he put out about Kamara, he quoted saying, the team thought that his appearance at training camp when Alvin showed up for mini camp, when Alvin showed up last month for one day was a publicity stunt, and how, they didn't like that. And I'm like, man, I'm not feeling that the team always goes to Jeff to be kind of like their mouthpiece about why they're mad or annoyed at a player. Jeff also put out the article a few years ago where, he reported that players were parking in the wrong parking spots and that Mickey Loomis felt like the team was losing its vision or, their leadership. And we all were like, well, maybe it's because Dennis Allen and Derek Carr is our head coach and quarterback, not some damn parking spot. But it seems like they always go, and people think that Mickey Loomis is the source. I don't know if Mickey Loomis is Jeff Duncan's source, but somebody always kind of goes to Jeff Duncan to put something out whenever like somebody is on the fringe of not possibly being a Saint, or they're just tired and they want to kind of gauge the temperature. And I was happy that this fan base kind of called that shit out, and I damn sure called it out. And I wasn't calling out Jeff Duncan. I was calling out the team. I was like, y'all always go to Jeff Duncan whenever, y'all want something reported. Y'all don't want to man up and say yourself, so y'all make Jeff Duncan like y'all mouthpiece. Like, hey, Jeff, you could put out that Alvin Kamara, man, that was a publicity stunt when he came to minicamp, man. We don't like that. That's not showing the leadership that we want. Man, kiss my ass, Saints. Because if y'all didn't want him that bad, then y'all could have cut him earlier this year. Y'all know I've been saying long all offseason how I felt the Saints, the way they moved about this whole situation was lame. I thought it was lame as hell. And I'm glad that it worked out. I'm glad that Alvin stood on 10 toes. I'm glad that Alvin did do the publicity stunt, if they want to call it that. And I'm glad that Alvin Kamara is going to be a Saint in 2026. But man, do I get annoyed sometimes when they just use Jeff to kind of be their mouthpiece about why they are getting rid of a player, why they want to get rid of a player, this and that. Like, come on, man, that shit gets tiring. And I'm thinking fans are starting to see through the bullshit. Jeff takes the heat for it. And I'm not mad at Jeff for putting it out there, because if I was a reporter and I had sources like that, yeah, I'll put it out there too, even if it made me the enemy of the fan base. But I think it's lame how the front office does that whenever, suddenly a player is not as valuable to them anymore. I damn sure don't think the team would have been annoyed by Alvin Kamara coming only for one day of minicamp if it was the year 2020 when he was the most valuable Saint on the roster, right? But now because, he's a contract expendable player, oh, man, what a publicity stunt. Jeff, can you put out that it was a publicity stunt and we didn't like that? Miss me with all that. Again, I like Jeff. I know a lot of you guys do not like Jeff. I actually like Jeff. But I think that was lame of the team to always go to him whenever they want to put out something negative about a player or whatever. So, but either way, that article obviously didn't hit the way they would have hoped that it would hit, because Alvin Kamara is going to be a New Orleans Saint in 2026. And we as Saints fans get to cheer on Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan. And I think I am just as confident, maybe even more confident about our chances to win the NFC South now that we officially have those situations locked in with Alvin Kamara and Cam Jordan being back. Now that that's all situated, we can focus on some goddamn football. I know the Chris Olave situation is kind of like the last thing, the last hanging fruit available. We got to sign him to a long-term extension, obviously, but I'm happy that all of these contract, will he, won't he, should they trade him, will they cut him, all of that is over with. Cam Jordan is back. Alvin Kamara is back. Now we can focus on some goddamn football. It's going to be some pissed off and hungry football in 2026. I'm excited, and I believe that you guys are too. So a word from one of our sponsors.
Here's a gift just for you for being a fan. Are you going to a sports game or a concert or any major event? Well, buy your tickets from SeatGeek and use the promo code JONO at checkout, and you can receive $20 off your purchase over $50. That's $20 off your purchase. What are you waiting for? You know this shit more than a game, man.
Now, again, while I was taking a break from doing live streams the past month, that doesn't mean I was taking a break from Saints Talk completely, because I was on WWL 870 again with Mike Detillier, who's going to be on the John Barnes Show soon, y'all. So make sure if y'all don't have y'all friends subscribing to the channel, that they hit that like and subscribe button and come join this great community that we built. And he asked me, what did I think about how Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara, that duo might look in 2026. Here was a clip from my appearance on WWL 870 and my thoughts on Travis Etienne in New Orleans in 2026.
And let me tell you, all the fantasy owners out there, I mean, if round 3 comes and Travis Etienne is available, you might want to be that guy at the bar that sees the other girl at the other end of the bar and say, wow, this girl might be somebody that I might need to put some interest in, because I think Travis Etienne is going to have an incredible year this year under Kellen Moore's vision.
Yeah, it depends on what time of the night it is, too. Your vision,
right?
Sometimes your vision gets a little shaky at that time of the night.
Right. Even so, I think Travis Etienne is going to have a good year, and I'm eyeing him, Mike. I'm eyeing Travis Etienne.
I hope the WWL 870 AM listeners love when John Barnes comes on the radio show. Shout out to Mike Detillier, man. What a great guy. What a great guy. He is the, maybe Mount Rushmore of traditional Saints media in the city and state. And for him to use his platform to open it up for people like me, the new wave of media, or just media is going in 2026 with content creators being just as much of a voice as journalists, traditional journalism. I'm forever grateful and indebted to Mike Detillier for letting me come on his platform, the biggest platform, radio platform in the state of WWL 870, and talking Saints football. And I'm going to be doing more appearances throughout this upcoming season on WWL 870 AM. And again, we are definitely going to have Mike Detillier on. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to ask him before the season. I keep thinking, do I want him on before the season to talk about, previewing the season, or do I want him during the season where, we get his expert analysis as we are watching the Saints season play out. So I'm going back and forth, but I'm thinking, while the hype is still high, we'll have him on before the season and we can talk Saints, just talk about his legendary career. But yeah, if y'all heard that clip, I like to, throw in jokes with my analysis, but I do believe Travis Etienne is going to have a great year. And if you are a fantasy owner like I am, I'm telling you, if he's available when round 3 or round 4 comes, he's going to look very tempting. He's going to look like somebody on Love Island. It's just very tempting. Like, can I see myself with that person? I think I can. And I think Etienne, we saw what Kellen Moore did with Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying Etienne is going to have a 2,000-yard season, but Etienne is Kellen Moore's guy. There's a shot that he could be a really, really valuable player in 2026. And I'm excited to see what Travis Etienne does. We're definitely going to talk more about previewing the 2026 Saints season and some of our notable players in the upcoming weeks. So I'm excited to be back, guys. I'm excited that the season is very, very close, but we are technically still in the off season. And y'all want to know what makes me really excited still while we are in off season mode? Just how much leadership and how Tyler Shough is having, I guess, the best damn offseason in quarterback history, right? For sure, man, he made it a point this offseason to say that this is my team. I am the leader of the New Orleans Saints, and I am now a leader in the New Orleans community because he got the team together, y'all, all the skill players at least, to do some offseason workouts. And how awesome is that, right? I know people are going to be like, did Derek Carr ever do that? I don't know if I kind of forget if Derek Carr ever did it or if he only did it with like 1 or 2 players. Man, Tyler got the whole damn crew together. And if y'all look real closely, who's that next to Tyler? Who's that to Tyler Shough's? Tyler Shough's, well, it depends on how you're looking at the angle of the picture, but who's that to Tyler Shough's right? Maybe your left if you're looking at it from the mirror screen on your phone or YouTube. Is that the one and only? Is that Drew Christopher Brees? How awesome is that, y'all? Does that not get you excited? That shit got me goosebumps. That shit is why this shit is more than a game. Man, how awesome is that to have our Hall of Fame quarterback who's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2 weeks? I cannot wait. There ain't going to be a dry house in the city of New Orleans when Drew Brees gives a speech in a few weeks as he's officially inducted to the Hall of Fame. But how awesome is that, man, to have Drew Brees working out and mentoring Tyler Shough, man. Damn, am I excited. I was already excited for the season. With Elvin back, being pissed off and hungry, with Drew Brees working out with the team. Come on, man. I am excited. I absolutely love it. And there might be some fans who think that this is to be expected, right? Like, well, of course Drew Brees is going to work out with the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. Like, he's Mr. New Orleans Saint himself. Why would he not work out with quarterback proteges? Let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever seen Tom Brady work out with any of the Patriots quarterbacks since he retired? The answer to that is no. Have y'all seen Peyton Manning working out with any of the Denver Broncos quarterbacks since he's retired? The answer is no. Now, Peyton Manning has done some things with the Broncos, but I haven't. If they did, they made it very private. I have not seen any photos with Peyton Manning and Bo Nix. I've seen no type of connection or contact whatsoever with Tom Brady. Not only the Patriots organization, because Tom Brady is obviously now a half owner of the Las Vegas Raiders or whatever, but I don't see Tom Brady working out with Fernando Mendoza yet. I don't see Tom Brady working out with Drake May. We cannot take that for granted. The same way I'm telling y'all don't take Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara for granted in 2026. Do not take for granted the fact that Drew Brees is mentoring Tyler Shough. I even tweeted about this. I say we can't take Drew Brees working with Tyler Shough for granted or act like it's to be expected. I haven't seen Tom Brady working out with Drake May or Peyton Manning with Bo Nix. Having a young QB like Tyler Shough to embrace the large shadow of a legend and having that legend reciprocated is very, very special. Tyler Shough can hide from the Drew Brees shadow, y'all. Some might have even advised that he did. Like, yo, dude, Drew Brees is a legend. You don't want to try to walk in his shoes. You don't want to try to be any part of association with him because his shadow is just too damn big in the city of New Orleans to ever think that you are going to come close to capturing some of it. Tyler Shough said, hell with that. I embrace it. I embrace that I am following in Drew Brees' footsteps. I embrace that the city is looking for somebody to be the heir apparent since Drew Brees has retired. I embrace that I am trying to fill the shoes, the mighty large shoes, the soon-to-be Canton, Ohio gold-plated shoes that Drew Brees left behind. I appreciate that. I love that. I cherish that. Does that mean that Tyler Shough is for sure the quarterback of the future and our franchise quarterback? No, he still got to go out there. And I don't think Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett, if we played the Los Angeles Rams this year, is going to carry that Drew Brees mentor Tyler Shough. But just to see Tyler Shough taking these steps, to see Tyler Shough embracing the greatness and the shadow and the legacy that is Drew Brees, and to have a quarterback like Drew Brees reciprocate it back, man, that's awesome, y'all. I hope y'all don't take that for granted. That's why down here, this shit more than the game. You look at Tom Brady right now, the dude's doing goddamn WWE WrestleMania build-up moments with Michael Rubin and Logan Paul. You know, if y'all been following the media, y'all been seeing what Tom Brady's been doing with these, working with these YouTube pranksters and stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're Tom Brady. Do you really want to put yourself down to that level? But hey, whatever makes Tom Brady happy, But Drew Brees ain't doing no goddamn fake viral I slapped Logan Paul segment so I could have a match with him at WrestleMania. Drew Brees is working out with goddamn Tyler Shough. That's what we love in New Orleans. And that's why this shit more than a game. So I love that, man. I hope y'all love that too. I hope y'all appreciate that. I hope that y'all cherish that. Cherish these type of things, man. Cherish that Cam Jordan and Alvin Kamara wants to retire New Orleans Saints. Cherish that Drew Brees in his retirement is willing to mentor the young guys, including the young quarterbacks. And eventually there's going to be a time where Tyler Shough is the old quarterback. And then maybe him and Drew Brees mentors the next guy. But that is something while this franchise and the people on Airline Drive love to promote that we are a family. And I know we all get tired of hearing we ain't trying to be a family. We're trying to win football and basketball games and be a goddamn cold-hearted business. But I can appreciate the family aspect of this, that we have this in New Orleans and that we have a Hall of Fame quarterback, top 5 quarterback of all time, argue with your mama, mentoring our hopeful quarterback of the future and next franchise quarterback. I love that shit, man. Love that shit. I hope you guys love that too. No, the Chop says Tom Brady trying to wrestle. He ain't worrying about grooming Drake May for the well. He would technically now the Chop have to groom Mendoza since he owns the Raiders. But yeah, it's just kind of wild, And again, I'm not, law knows with WWE. If I ever got big enough and WWE wanted me to do some type of build up so I could have a moment at a WrestleMania or SummerSlam, shit, or just a regular Thursday, a Friday Night SmackDown. Hell yeah, I would do it. But it's just funny seeing it from Tom Brady. Like, dude, like you're working with Logan Paul and you're doing these. I mean, at the World Cup, even at the World Cup, I don't know if y'all saw, like, they this stupid little, where Logan Paul was charging at Tom Brady and Brady was just pointing his middle finger while I think it was Michael Rubin. And I'm like, you're Tom Brady. What are you doing, dude? Like, come on now. Drew Brees was at the World Cup too. He was just watching the game being Drew freaking Brees, not wasting time like, I got to do some more stuff with Logan Paul. Come on, Tom Brady. What are you doing to your legacy, dude? Maybe he's just trying to have all the fun that Bill Belichick didn't allow them to have while they were doing it the Patriot way. I don't know, but I'm glad that my quarterback, and again, I'm not trying to knock Tom Brady too much. Again, his life. I'll probably be doing the same thing, but at the same time, dude, you are arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom. Do you really want to stoop that low to be doing some goddamn, Instagram and TikTok skits with Logan Paul? I know what my GOAT is doing. My GOAT is working with my franchise quarterback of the future. And that's why the Saints are going to be doing the damn thing in 2026. Let's get to some more of y'all comments. Sandra says, yes. Let's get ready for Brees' induction. Jono, I might. You will shed a tear when that happens. Now, Bruce saying, I believe you are. Yeah, he says, I can't wait to see that dude live and can. I'm getting, Bruce, I know, again, I don't want to put pressure on you, man. Go out there, enjoy yourself, focus on whatever you want to do in the moment. But, man, if you can get us some videos or just content as a first eye point of view, the way I kind of do my vlogs whenever I go on the road, man, I would love that. But no pressure. And I'm not saying you got to do like a 30-minute vlog like I be doing, but if you just do like a 15, 30-second, reel of, your seat and where Drew is at and him as part of his speech or whatever, everybody would love to see that. And we'll definitely be on your channel if you do that. So I'm glad you get to go. I'm kind of sad that I'm not going, but like someone said earlier, my wife's credit card is on fire. It couldn't afford a trip to Canton, Ohio and Paris, France. But I'm definitely going to be all in watching it from my home. And like Sandra says, there will not be any dry eyes. Ain't no might. There would definitely not be any more. Yeah, like B. Creo says, we all going to be crying in about 2 weeks when Drew Brees gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Dragon Slayer says, hot take. The Saints will not only make the playoffs this year, but make it back to the NFC title game. But, okay, he went from being happy hittery to Debbie Downer. they will lose, then win it all next year. Well, hopefully they will win it all if we make it to the title game, Dragon Slayer, this year, so that Cam and Aiken can go out with a bang. But hey, I would not complain if our peak this year is the NFC title game. Storm Blessed Radiant says, I think we can make a good run this year, but I feel like we could win it all next year for sure. So it seems like people think that this is a year where we get back into the playoff picture, and then next year is when we really go for possibly winning a championship. Now, we all might look back on this in November, December, be like, God damn, well, we a little too hyped up and delusional. But you know what? We haven't had a valid reason to be hyped up and delusional for a long time. So drink that Kool-Aid, y'all. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid, or should I say the 10K all off season. And until Tyler Shook, Kellen Moore, give me an answer. Drink any more of the Kool-Aid? I'm gonna be singing the Saints praises and cheerleading for them all throughout the year. Jerry says, Jono, be honest. When Shook was drafted last year, you was mad as hell. But look how things changed a year. Hell yeah. No, I've gone on this show plenty of times, and I've admitted. And I always say I will make my apology as loud as the disrespect. So, I'll continue to come on here and say I was wrong about Tyler Shook. And I know that, he still has a long career. He has more football ahead of him than behind him. So we still got to see if he truly is that guy. But he has done enough for me to say, at worst, overreacted to him being, the number 40 pick in the 2020 draft. So I wear that with pride. I have no issue with being wrong. And if people always want to bring it up or, even use it to me as trash talk on social media sometimes to say, this is why you are a dumbass, I gladly and happily accept being a dumbass at the expense of my team being good. So ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Brute Saint says, you can tell Drew is confident Shook is the guy. Whatever gave it away, Brute Saint. Whatever did give that away. The Know the Child podcast says Tyler Shook is our franchise quarterback. Slim South says Lemon Carr never did that. I'm surprised Derek Carr never hit up Drew Brees and says, hey, can I work out with you? I mean, I know Derek Carr probably felt that he was already at a level that he didn't need maybe Drew Brees' help, but you can never be good enough to not get help from legends of the game. So I'm not going to pile on Derek Carr like a lot of Saints fans do, but there are some things that Tyler Shook probably saw Derek Carr not do and say, yeah, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that. Storm Blessed Radiant says that picture got him hyped up. It got you and the whole damn city of New Orleans hyped up. It got me hyped up too. How hyped up did it get you, Jono? It got me this hyped up.
This shit more than the game, man. This shit more than the game.
And if y'all know me, y'all know I rarely cry. So I rarely cry. So yeah, it was great to see Drew Brees working out with the team and him and Tyler Shook together. And hopefully, the young grasshopper, known as Tyler Nathan Shook, learns from the master. That is Andrew Christopher Brees. Dragon Slayer says Achane and Kamara remind me of Ingram and Kamara when Mark was old. So he's talking about that 2022, I think it was, a 2023 season when we brought Mark back for one last ride. Maybe it is that, and I'm not going to be mad if it is that, because Mark was still a valuable player at that point in his career. Now, he wasn't the Mark Ingram of 2018 and 2017, but he was still a valuable player besides that time when he went out of bounds 1 yard too short at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. And if that's what Alvin's role is going to be in 2026, then I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Sandra says, is there any mention of a deal being worked out with Olave? They've been saying that they've been working on that deal for damn near 2 years now. So I guess when it happens, it happens. I have no fear that it's not going to happen, but it has been something that they clearly feel like they don't need to rush. So we'll see if it gets done before the season. If I'm Olave, I'm definitely trying to get it done before the season because I'm not trying to go out there and risk injury and lose a big contract. So I would think that it will get done before the season, but time will tell with that. Time will tell. And Stone Bless says, it was awesome seeing you on the Saint Squad show with Ross and them. Thank you, Stone Bless. I love being able to, and I'm honored, honestly, to be able to go on, again, Mike Detillier, WWL, 870 AM, to be on Locked On Saints, which I will be on in the future as well, as a guest, of course. It's a great thing, and I'm very humbled that I am being asked to be on these platforms. So I appreciate that you guys enjoy when I kind of take off the goofy hat and put on my serious analysis hat and try to talk football with some great people in the city of New Orleans, the state of Louisiana. And I like to think I hold my own. So I'm glad that you guys feel that way. And hopefully y'all are not just blowing smoke up my ass. But y'all, we only have about 2 more weeks till football returns. I'm excited. It's been a long off season, but we are close where we can see that light. Y'all see that light? I see that light. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's close. It's not there yet, but it's close. We can kind of see it. It's within arm's reach. Just got a few more weeks left to go, and football will be back. One day that really helped make this offseason fly by, are we in the dog days of the offseason in July, was the World Cup. Well, you guys watching the World Cup this past month? Because I was, and man, I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed the World Cup this past month, man. I mean, it kind of snuck up on me. Like, I mean, look, they've been freaking promoting the World Cup for years now, because it was the first year back in New Orleans. I wish it was in New Orleans, in the United States, in like 30 years. And so I've been seeing it like sporadically being advertised, for years now. But it still kind of feel like it snuck up on me. That may not make sense saying out loud, but it's one of those things where you kind of in your own world. Lord knows me, I'm just trying to focus on being the dad right now. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, the World Cup is here. My fat ass only really hit me when I got the email about all the food deals that was going on in the United States. Like, McDonald's is running this promotion, and Sonic is running this promotion, and Dunkin' Donuts is running. I was like, oh yeah, the World Cup is here. And what started off as just like, oh, this is going to be good background noise for me while I work my 9 to 5. Man, I really started getting into the games, and I thoroughly enjoyed the World Cup. I'm not ever going to be a passionate soccer fan. I'm not ever going to follow MLS or anything like that while the World Cup is not going on. But I will be a frequent watcher of the World Cup for the rest of my life. And I hope that it comes back to the United States sooner than later, because I really enjoyed the World Cup this past month. And for me, at least, it made this past month and these dog days of the offseason go by extremely fast. So hopefully you guys were able to enjoy the World Cup too. And I'm just a little bit sad, y'all, that it finally came to its conclusion this past Sunday afternoon.
I didn't realize you were such an avid Spain fan.
What? A Spain? Man, I don't care about Spain winning. The World Cup is over. They ain't got no football. We ain't got no basketball. We got none to watch now.
No, there's baseball. That's a sport.
Baseball? Really? What are we going to watch now?
I mean, how many weeks are left?
We got like 3 weeks of football. What am I going to do in 3 weeks, though? Football is 3 weeks to win. It's a long time.
I mean, you have a son that you could, I don't know, take to the park, have fun with, do something, spend quality time.
Yeah, I guess I can. Hey, buddy. How many weeks again to football?
I don't know, 2, 3, something like that. 4?
Hey, buddy, we got 3 weeks to play together, finally, huh? What's his name again?
Are you serious?
Now what? Now you know this shit more than the game. You know this shit more than the game.
I don't know what to do with you anymore.
It's gonna get long 3 weeks, man. Damn. You ever heard of a guy named Tyler Shuck? He's awesome. You gonna get rid of. Hey fans, hit the subscribe button in 3 seconds to make this Falcons fan sad. 3, 2, 1.
Even though that light is at the end of the tunnel, it's still a ways away. So I guess I can use these next 3 weeks to get to learn my son. Apparently his name is Jonathan, Know the Child Podcast. You learn something new every day, apparently. I don't know how I'm always seen as the bad guy whenever my wife records moments like that. I mean, she has to understand at this point this shit more than a game. I mean, y'all see my shirt? Like, I've been doing a good job being a dad. This is all my son spit and stuff, okay? So, my wife needs to be a little bit more grateful for me and cherish these next 3 weeks the way I'm going to cherish Alvin Kamara and Cam Jonas Saints, the way I cherish Drew Brees working out with Tyler Shuck, because in 3 weeks, she on her own, y'all. she on her own. Little Jono, I can't wait to see him at 2 years old, because it's football time and the New Orleans Saints and NFL season is back, baby. Hell yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Yeah, they grow fast, Be Clear, especially when you too busy focused on the World Cup and basketball and stuff. They damn sure grow fast. By the time I see him next time, he's gonna be walking, talking, doing all that stuff. I'm like, oh, hey, kid, nice to meet you. So yeah, guys, I can't wait. Let's close out the show the way we always do, man. If y'all want to ask Jono any questions, leave the hashtag or just ask a question. Let's do the Ask Jono segment. It's been a month. Maybe you guys have some questions built up since I last did the show, and we'll finish out the show answering some questions. But also, if you don't have any questions, which is fine, I mean, ain't much to talk about. Again, this is the dog days of the off season. Just be happy because football is close, man. I felt it, and I can't wait. And it's always my favorite time of year, like that middle ground, like where it's the end of summer, but right before fall starts. It's just a beauty. It's usually like right before Labor Day. That's always a great weekend for me because I'm in the city. I'm doing my fantasy draft with my family. We always have a big family barbecue. College football's first week is that week. Like it's always like a great week for me. Like I'm like, this is what it's all about. Like it's all coming together. Football is always like that sprinkle on top of the ice cream. So I'm getting excited that we are literally weeks away from that reality coming back to all of us in football land. So I'm excited, and I think it's going to be a fun year for the New Orleans Saints, and I'm hopeful at least it's going to be a fun year for the Jono Barnes channel and the Jono Barnes brand, and this shit more than the game brand. And not only is this shit more than the game, but this shit is also, by the way, more than a thing. So I know it's been about a month, but last time I did a show, we had some great super chats. So I want to give this shit more than a thanks to the queen of the This Shit More Than the Game community, Sandra, and my God, the Know the Child podcast for leaving super chats on the show last month. Guys know that every super chat we get, we invest right back into the show. So thank you guys for that. This shit more than a thanks. And of course, to everybody who left a super chat today, my great guy, Bruce Saint, that came into super chats, my girl Sandra, and the official swagger 4K. Know that you guys are This Shit More Than the Game certified. We still got a little more time left, so if y'all want to leave some more super chats and help out my wife's smoking hot credit card after buying front row tickets in Paris, y'all more than welcome to do so. You guys are more than welcome to do so. All right, let me get to some of these questions. And we chilling right now. It's still an early night. Maybe there's some things that I want to talk about that I can think of. Again, we kind of alluded to the ESPN layoffs earlier. Disney is laying off people in general. ESPN obviously is a parent company of Disney, so Disney's the parent company of ESPN, so they were affected by it. But I saw that Disney also laid off some a bulk of Disney's layoffs went to the team at Pixar. And I'm like, that's kind of cold-blooded because Pixar had the two biggest movies for Disney this year in Hoppers and Toy Story 5. Damn sure it wasn't Moana, the live-action movie. So, man, again, just press for everybody who is being laid off. We all know this is a tough time in the economy and whatnot. So, I feel for everybody who has been laid off on ESPN, on Pixar, on Disney, on all that stuff, because it is not a good feeling. That is for sure. All right, let's get to Ask Jono, and we'll just kind of freestyle the rest of tonight as we get closer and closer, I guess, to the 2026 season edition of the Jono Barnes Show. Hopefully she isn't watching. Well, right now she's watching a damn kid, Storm Bless. So yeah, I don't think she's watching right now. All right, let me see. I want to make sure I missed any questions. All right, here we go. The first one is from my girl, ASAP Thickness, who's going to be at the Saints and Carolina game. I believe it was a Carolina game. You showed me that you were going to ASAP. So rock that This Shit More Than the Game shirt hard. Let them damn Panthers fans know that this shit more than the game. She asked, though, which rookie are you most excited to see debut? I think the easy answer and the obvious answer is Jordan Tyson, right? Like, we want to see if this kid, who is the highest drafted Saints wide receiver, was it ever, or was it like for a while, right? Like, this one of the highest drafted Saints wide receivers of all time. Is he going to live up to being the number 8 pick in the NFL draft? And is his health going to not be a factor the way we hope that his health is not a factor? And is he going to open up the offense for Chris Olave and Travis Etienne? Is he going to be beneficial to Etienne and Olave getting so many looks that he has a possible rookie of the year type year? So definitely, it's an easy answer. It's an obvious answer, but Jordan Tyson is definitely the rookie that I'm looking forward to, because if he has a good year, the way that the Carolina Panthers rookie wide receiver, Ted McMillan had one last year, and we saw, look, they weren't great, but they still won a division, or was able to win enough games to win a division. Maybe that's the 2026 New Orleans Saints. So I'm hopeful that Jordan Tyson is that guy that we all hope that he can be. Storm Bless Radiant X, did you tell Ross how's your mom and them? Not on camera, but in New Orleans, we always ask in private. So absolutely in private, I ask Ross, hey, Ross, how's your mom and them? Slim Salt asks, how many Super Bowl rings should the Saints have? Sheesh. I would say this 2, because I think that the one for sure, and this is why this is going to always hurt me the most of all of our playoff heartbreaks, is the no call. See, the 2011 playoff heartbreak to the 49ers and the 2017 heartbreak to the Vikings, and even the 19 loss to the Vikings in overtime and the 20 loss to the Bucks at the Superdome, an empty Superdome. I can at least go to sleep saying that was the Saints' own undoing, right? Like Marcus Williams missed that tackle, not the referee. Roman Harper and Malcolm Jenkins didn't stop Vernon Davis, not the referees. The referees didn't stifle the Saints' offense in 2020. The Buccaneers' defense did. Referees didn't give Kirk Cousins a pathway to the red zone for a game-winning overtime touchdowns. The Saints' defense allowed that. But 2018, that NFC Championship game, that wasn't the Saints' undoing. That was the incompetency of the referee crew. And that's what hurts me the most, is that, it wasn't the Saints and the Rams who determined who won that game. It was a third party like the referee crew. And Lord knows y'all done heard me and Sean argue about this a million times. But to me, that's where it's just bullshit. Like if I'm going to lose, let my team lose the game, all right? Let my team choke. Let Marcus Williams choke a goddamn game away. Don't let the referees take it from us, man. That to me was the one that, should have been ours. Because I believe had they made that obvious call, obviously we make a field goal. There's only 3 seconds left. Unless we would have gave up another miracle type play where, the Rams bring back the kickoff return for a touchdown, which I sincerely doubt we would have allowed to happen. We're playing the Patriots in Atlanta. And how awesome would that have been, right? Saints in Atlanta in the Super Bowl. I have so much respect for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick that I'm not going to get on the soapbox and say we for sure would have beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots. But I feel pretty confident that we would have beat Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots, because we would have had 2 weeks off to get our help back together, and ain't nobody was stopping the goddamn New Orleans Saints that year. So that is why I would say the answer logically is 2. Emotionally, you could say, yeah, we should have won in 2011. We could have won in 2020. All that, I understand, but the Saints lost those games, not the referees. In 2018, referees lost us that goddamn game, and that should have been the Saints Super Bowl, and we should be having 2 Super Bowl banners in the Superdome right now, but we only got 1. And now we get Bucs fans always coming on saying, we got 2, y'all got 1. And of course, they ain't going to want to hear it. Well, yeah, we would have had 2 if we would have had the referee made the most obvious goddamn call in NFL history, but them's be the breaks, I guess. Them's be the breaks. Sandra asks, Jono, do you have any concerns that Shough will have a more difficult season now that there is film out on him? Not that there is film out on him, Sandra, because I mean, shit, there was film out on him by the middle of December. So what made the film different now than it was in the middle of December when they had film out on him? I always feel like that's kind of I don't want to say silly reasoning, but it's like, they had film on him in December last year and they couldn't stop him then. But I will say that I do think if we want to, I know we're having fun drinking the Kool-Aid, but if we want to take a step back, there might be a world where Tyler Shough, who is a second-year professional quarterback, might struggle a little bit. Like he might not be as great as we hope or want him to be in 2026. And, in the heat of the moment, I might not, but I'm hopeful that I will exercise grace and patience. And if he doesn't live up to the expectations that we put on him in 2026, that we kind of take a step back and say, okay, hey, he still is, a young quarterback as far as years played in the NFL, that we got to give him some time to like really grow into it. Like Drew Brees was not Drew Brees in year 2, right? It happens. Sometimes you have great rookie years and then you kind of come back down to earth. Now, I don't think it's going to be because of the film, Sandra. I just think that, the NFL is a tough business and it takes quarterbacks sometimes to really reach their peak. So I think there was a world where Tyler Shough just might struggle. And, while we're drinking the Kool-Aid again, we're not talking about, oh man, what if Tyler Shough does struggle in 2026? We're talking about, man, Tyler Shough is going to list to the NFC South Championship. But I do think that we, in rare moments where we do have time to be a bit more realistic, should maybe say, hey, is there a time or a world where Tyler Shough might struggle a little bit? How should I react if he does struggle in 2026? So it's going to be interesting to see. And even if he does struggle, I'm hopeful that it's like struggles that we all can look at and say, well, that's just a young quarterback being a young quarterback. We still have faith in him and he just doesn't fall completely off a cliff. I'm not expecting him to have an MVP type season. If he does, great. Shit, it's going to be a great time in New Orleans. But I'm hopeful that he has a good season and that his struggles aren't too overbearing that we go into 2027 saying, Oh man, I guess we got to go back to square one and hoping that we can find the franchise quarterback of the future. Jerry asks, Jono, do the Falcons still suck? They never stop. So I don't know if you can still be when you never stop. They just never stop sucking. They are the Falcons. And that's the time that Mr. Ripley would tell you. The Falcons are always going Falcon. The Falcons are always going Falcon. Sandra, I'm just having fun with the Onk there. I don't mind if you call me Onk. Like that's just me being silly. If I'm Onk status, then it's a blessing that I made it to Onk status because nothing is ever promised tomorrow today. Jerry asks, did the Falcons win a Super Bowl? Not to my knowledge. Hey Siri, have the Atlanta Falcons ever won a Super Bowl? Huh. Learn something new every day, apparently, huh? Why do the fans keep talking all that shit, Siri? I don't get it. They never won a Super Bowl. Why are the fans still talking all that shit? I don't get it. I don't get it. Make it make sense to me. ASAP asks, did you see the Odyssey? I am going tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. I am putting my kid to sleep at 7:30 p.m. I have an amazing wife, all jokes aside. She's going to stay at the house while I go watch him because there is this new world that we live in now where we cannot go see a movie together all the time anymore because we always have to babysit the little one. I say babysit. I mean, that's our kid. We got to watch him, right? So I'm going to, usually when I have to go see movies now, unless I can squeeze seeing it on a Friday afternoon, I usually have to wait till Tuesday and Wednesday, AMC stub member, if you know, you know, and wait till late night once I get the kid to sleep to kind of sneak out and go see a movie. So I plan on seeing the Odyssey tomorrow, and I plan on seeing Spider-Man in 2 weeks. I've heard great things about the Odyssey, and I am looking forward. I know it's a long movie, so I'm leaving at 8 o'clock. I'm probably going to get home to like 11:30. So I've heard great things, though, and I'm excited to see it. Have you seen it, ASAP, or have any of y'all seen the Odyssey yet? If so, what are y'all thoughts on that? Because I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to being thoroughly entertained tomorrow when I go see it tomorrow night. Slim South asks, what was your favorite game of the 2009 season besides the Super Bowl? I'm gonna discredit all the playoff games because that seems like easy. Like obviously that Minnesota Vikings game was incredible. That was one of the best football games I think of all time. And man, was that an emotional game? My God, I remember after the game, after all the crying that we did because we finally were going to a Super Bowl. I mean, I just need to take. I literally had to sit down. I was like, I am spent. I was like, holy crap! I feel like I just did a 5K marathon. Like that game was exhausting. And every time I watch the replay, it's like, damn, boy, we really probably could have lost that game because we were not at our best that game. But thank God our defense was just so turnover magical worthy and was able to get these turnovers from the Vikings. Some that was just pure luck, honestly, like Brett Favre throwing that pick or Adrian Peterson fumbling on the 1 yard line. Like some stuff was just like, thank God the football gods was on our side that day because, I mean, there's easily a world where, the ball does not bounce our way or Brett Favre does not throw that insane interception. And the Saints have 0 Super Bowls at the Atlanta Falcons. But for whatever reason, some years when it's your year and God is on your side, God is on your side. So, but to answer your question, I'm not going to include any postseason games. First game that comes to mind is that Miami Dolphins game when we were down by a lot. And then we came back down like from 28, 30 points and had the second half come back to beat the Miami Dolphins in Miami, where we would then be 3 months later hoisting a Super Bowl trophy. That was a really good game. I remember my cousins, aka my brothers, we were all at the game. That was the first game, I think, maybe the third game that I hosted at my house. I remember we had Taco Bell. I know it's random as hell, but you remember small things like that in the magical season like that. And it was fun. It was just real fun. Like, we were like, holy shit, the Saints came back. Like we were like, yo, this team is legit this year. This team is going to be fucking in the Super Bowl in a few months. And we were in the Super Bowl in a few months. Number 2 might be that Redskins game when we were just getting our ass whooped. And then somehow, some way, Meacham does that crazy interception/fumble, and we beat the Redskins in overtime. I remember I was by my uncle's house for that, and just being around the family. And I remember my uncles were like, usually games like that, the Saints always lost, but we're winning these games all of a sudden. And you just felt in your heart like this is the year, like the Saints are actually going to do the goddamn Dennis Sure. And I was like, wow, how awesome is it that my mom and dad, my uncles, guys who were there for the bad kid days, are living in a world where they might see the Saints win the Super Bowl, and we did win the Super Bowl. So that was a great year, man. That was a great year. Easily, of course, my most favorite season. 2018 was in the running for that until the damn NFC Championship game. But it's a blessing that we got to have a season like that the Falcons have never, ever, ever, ever experienced. Jerry asks, was the 28-3 score the game changer for the Falcons? Whatever the score is like 27-3. You think the Falcons would have won? You think it had to magically be 28-3 for the Falcons to choke that game? Things that make you go, man. Know the Child podcast asks, which players do you believe that's going to be sleepers, X factors, that's going to make an impact on offense and defense? Good question. Good question. On offense, I think Devon Valley. Is it Valley, y'all? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his last name. It always confuses me. But I remember I was wrong about that trade too. I was mad when we traded for Devon, and he was looking real good last year before he got hurt. I think he could be a real X factor for the offense this year. I'm excited to see what he does as the number 3 wide receiver, because he should have some good looks coming his way. You will assume with Olave, Tyson, Achane taking up the bulk of the defense focus. And on defense, I don't know if I'm going to say the X factor as in a good way, but I do think he needs to be an X factor as far as, a lot of our wins and losses in the defense's performance is going to be on his performance. And I'm talking about Kool-Aid McKinstry. He is the number 1 cornerback going into the year. I don't fully believe in my heart that he is the number 1 cornerback, but this is a prove-it year, in my opinion, for Kool-Aid McKinstry to show that he can be a number 1 cornerback. And I believe the secondary might be the weak spot of our team this year. That might be the reason why we don't maybe win enough games or win a playoff game or whatever. We'll see, but I do think that Kool-Aid McKinstry has to be an X factor for this defense to possibly take it to the next level. And he's going to be in a prove-it year. So I would go with Kool-Aid McKinstry, and I would go with Devon Valley as I see some South puts. I promise I'm going to learn his last name before the season starts. Bruce Saint says, to follow up my 2018 rant, what makes it hurt so much is that the 2018 team was arguably the best team in franchise history. Maybe one day, the offseason is pretty much done now, so I probably should have done it earlier this offseason, but we should have a debate about what was the best team in Saints history, because obviously 2009 should be the answer, right? They're the ones who have the ring. But I see a lot of times on social media, 2011 gets brought up a lot. Like, people think that 2011 was easily our best team. I think it's between 2009, 2011, and 2018. It's a criminal shame that the 2011 team didn't even make it to the NFC Championship game, but that 49ers game, whereas the football gospel was on our side for that Minnesota Vikings game in 2009, it seems like we used up all our goodwill for the rest of our lifetime, because obviously we've had all this playoff heartbreak since then. That 2011 team was good, man. That offense was unstoppable. Jimmy Graham, Darren Sproles, Pierre Thomas, Marcus Colston, Drew Brees in his prime. Good Lord have mercy. Should we have won the Super Bowl in 2011? But I remember during the 2018 season, I was making an argument that, hey, y'all, 2018 might be the best team we've ever had, because I was like, look, yeah, maybe 2011, 2009 has better overall depth or whatnot. But I say, when you think about it, okay, if you look at the 2018 team, Michael Thomas in his prime, in my opinion, was the best Saints wide receiver ever. Now, I'm not saying he's the best wide receiver Saints of all time because his career was short, but in his prime, you give me one game, you can pick a Saints wide receiver. I'm picking Michael Thomas, right? Alvin Kamara, a top 3, top 4 Saints running back in Saints history. Demario Davis, a top 2, top 3 linebacker in Saints history. Cam Jordan, one of the greatest Saints of all time. Now, Drew Brees was not at his peak, but he was still playing MVP level football. I was like, we have a lot of top-end players, like top-end elite players. Marshawn Lattimore, that was at his prime. He was a top 3 cornerback at that time. I said maybe the 2009, 2011 team had better depth than 2018, but if you look at the top heaviness of the 2018 team, like, we had some elite talent. Like, if you rank the 2009, 11, and 18 teams just by players, Michael Thomas is probably going up before a lot of these players. Alvin Kamara is probably going up before a lot of these players. Like, Kamara might go up before Darren Sproles. Michael Thomas might go before a Jimmy Graham. Demario Davis might go before a Jonathan Vilma, right? Like, Marshawn Lattimore was easily going to be the top cornerback we take of all those teams. Like, we had some top heavy players in 2018. So throughout 2018, especially when we were winning games by like 30 or 40 points, I was like, y'all, the 2018 team could make a chance, argument to be the best Saints team in history. Now, they did not win the Super Bowl because the referees, so they kind of lost their argument, I guess, when people kind of go back and look at the Saints history of who was the best team in franchise history. But I do think Bruce Saint, that I agree with you. I think 2018 team has a great argument that they are the best team in Saints history. It's a good, fun debate, though, because I know some fans are going to say 2011. Some are going to say 2009. It's a shame that we only got one ring of all those 3 great teams. Oh, look at my. Make sure y'all watch Jimmy Fallon tonight. My guy Drew Brees. I guess he's doing the Hall of Fame promo run. He's going to be on Jimmy Fallon tonight. So I will be watching Jimmy Fallon tonight to see our GOAT. I'm loving it. I'm loving that Drew Brees is getting his well-deserved flowers these next few weeks. And we know that, again, in 2 weeks, we are going to have not a dry eye in the city when he gives his Hall of Fame induction speech. So make sure y'all watch Jimmy Fallon tonight to see Drew Brees. I can guarantee y'all one thing. He ain't going to be doing no goddamn city-ass segment with Logan Paul where he slaps Logan Paul. He's got more important things to do than get into some stupidity like that. So make sure y'all watch Drew Brees tonight on the Jimmy Fallon Show. Thanks for that heads up, Mom. All right, let's see. Hey, Jody Bear, you're a little late, but guess what? The Falcons still suck. We deduced that tonight on the John O'Barnes Show. Mr. Ripley says the rain was a stimulus package to get y'all back on y'all feet since FEMA was BS. And I love how fans used the Katrina jab at us, like to say that's why we won the Super Bowl is because they felt bad about Katrina. If that was the case, would we not have won it in 2006 when we was in the NFC Championship game against the Bears? Like, would that not have been the time for the NFL to say, hey, let's let the Saints win the Super Bowl? Like, while Katrina is still 1 year fresh, why did they say, oh, let's wait till 2009 to reward them for Katrina? That just makes no damn sense. But you know, when you're a Falcons fan, logic escapes your brain a lot. So we got to be a little more graceful to Falcons fans. We'll try to be graceful to the Falcons fans. We'll try to be graceful to the Falcons fans. Y'all one living in the past ass fan base. Y'all damn sure can't live in the past because y'all don't want to live in the past, Jody Bear, with y'all horrible ass history. I can tell you that. At least we have it to live in. Y'all don't. Y'all highlight was, oh, guess what? Y'all, we swept the New Orleans Saints in 2025. We were still on the couch with them, but we swept them. Cheryl, what up, Cheryl? It's good to see you in the chat tonight, Cheryl. You know, you're my number one fan. She said Drew's on Fox and Friends today. He looks great. Yeah, because I watched Drew Brees this morning on the Dan Patrick Show. Man, shout out to Dan Patrick, one of my favorite sports analysts of all time. So I guess Drew Brees is like, again, he's doing a media tour run before the Hall of Fame in 2 weeks, and I love it. I'm glad that Drew Brees is getting his flowers these next 2 weeks, and Lord knows he is going to get his flowers from the city of New Orleans when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. What a great night, y'all. It feels good to be back, man. I love talking football and all Dane's life with you guys. Falcons fans, keep watching the show in the upcoming weeks. I got something for y'all. Falcons fans. So keep watching in the next few weeks. Man, y'all, did y'all see the speaking of Falcons fans, did y'all see while I was gone this crazy news story? I don't know if y'all saw it. Did y'all see when those two I guess they were like daredevils or whatever that climbed the Empire State Building? Did y'all see that news when it broke they climbed up the Empire State Building, the daredevils, and like they had like this flag that they put on the top of the Empire State Building. It was crazy. Did y'all see that on the news when that happened? I know I can't be the only one. It was like breaking news. Like they interrupted my afternoon TV to say breaking news, y'all. We got two people climbed the top of the Empire State Building. Did y'all see that? Well, hold on. I actually think I was able to nab a clip of that. This happened while I was gone the past month, but it was insane, y'all. If y'all have not seen it, y'all do not. Yeah, look. I see some of y'all saw it. Some of y'all say y'all heard about it. Watch this clip, y'all. It was insane. It was absolutely insane what happened. They had these two daredevils that tore up the Empire State Building. They snuck away from the tour, and they are like these. Netflix even did a documentary about them like 2 years ago, and they like to do these like crazy stunts. So their stunt was climbing the Empire State Building. And look what happened when they climbed the top of the Empire State Building.
Yes, that is the top of the Empire State Building, but this is not an area where you're allowed to go up to where the antenna is. 204 feet tall, that antenna. So we don't know what exactly they're protesting, what has driven them to get to the top of Empire State Building, but we do have our chief investigative correspondent.
That was insane. I support that message. I don't know if I support the act of going to the top of the Empire State Building, but I support the message that they had on top of the Empire State Building. Man, Falcons fans, y'all just can't escape it, huh? Y'all just can't. I think we all in these trying times can unite in the message that those daredevils put on top of the Empire State Building. Insane. That was insane, man. What you rolling your eyes for, Johnny? Like that was a moment of unity for the United States. That was a moment of unity, man. That was a moment of beauty. I was like, this is why I still live in this goddamn country. For beautiful moments like that, for beautiful moments like that, and for beautiful people like you guys. Thank you guys so much. I've been going for a month. You guys came back and show love as always. We are going to have a fun season, y'all. We're going to have a fun season. We got about, again, 2 more weeks of the off season. We'll come on the show these next 2 weeks. We'll get ready. You know, we'll do these dog days of the off season. Then come August, man, we're going to celebrate Drew Brees being into the Hall of Fame. We're going to analyze these preseason games and these training camp reports. And training camp starts, I believe, like a week after my show. I'm excited. Football's coming back, man. Football's coming back. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm getting goosebumps. I know you guys are too. We're going to have a great, great time here in the city of New Orleans on the John O'Barnes Show on Boot Crew Media, which again, make sure you guys subscribe to Boot Crew Media and follow them on all platforms because I will be doing content on their platform this season, along with my channel, but also on Boot Crew Media. We're going to have a brand new Sunday night show on Boot Crew Media hosted by yours truly, where we give instant reaction to the Sunday games, of course, the New Orleans Saints game of that day. And it's going to be just a great, great time. I've already kind of expanded my audience thanks to Boot Crew Media. So I'm excited about what we can do when, you know, the fun really begins in August and damn sure in September through December and hopefully in January. But I know you guys are going to be there singing along because you guys are true to the John O'Barnes channel and not new to the John O'Barnes channel. So thank you guys. Feels good to be back, and I will be back going forward. Same John O'Barnes time, same John O'Barnes channel. And y'all know why? Because this shit more than a game, and the damn show never stopped.
You know.